This is the Man Stop It podcast. Man Stop It. Man Stop It. Yo, it's your boy Big Les. It's the 8th episode. Man Stop It. I got a special guest in the building. My boy Jaymal Green. He's in the building. Introduce yourself, man, to the people, man.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me, man.
sure.
Much love to everybody out there. This is the best episode now. We on here. We finna have the ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all heard
We're gonna
that,
talk
right?
real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how you been doing, though, man? I just
I've
want
been
to
good.
see.
I've been good, you know, coming off the race and shoot, there's so much happening in the city. You know, I've been all right. I just did a little traveling, you know,
Okay.
me and my girl.
You
jumping
needed
out.
that. You needed that little
yeah,
travel.
need that.
You've been through a tough one, man.
Mental health is real, man. And you know, I put up a post. I talked about, you know, how we are on social media and how we always barking at everybody, and you know, just everybody human. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just so important for you to get away and get your mind off of everything else that's going on. So I've just been doing that, chilling, taking care of the kids, making sure we can, you know, make sure that it's a good legacy that we building, and everything been great.
You're doing a good job, man. You're doing a good job. But I just want, what you think about the young lady, the police officer yesterday that got
That was
killed?
rough, man. That was rough. I put up a couple thousand as a reward. That girl, man, she did everything right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's messed up about it is she 24. She went to college, got a bachelor's. She's supposed to be graduating with a master's next week. And I don't know why the hell she want to be a police officer. But she like, I want to be a part of change. I'm going to be a police officer. Not even 3 years into the job, she get her life taken away. You know, so it was rough because it's like, you know, I would never be no police officer. And for her to like go to college and join the police force and to just do all of the things that she think is best to benefit the community and for her life to be taken short, you know, cut short. I mean, it was rough. It was rough to see, you know.
Yeah, that's sad, man. I didn't even know it. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news, man.
Yeah.
So somebody told me about it.
Yeah,
And I was like, wow. You know?
Yeah. No, it's really rough, man. You know, our black women, you know, they are the most unprotected. And I talk about the code from back in the day. Like, you know, I grew up around all the OGs, and the code was women and kids is off limits.
Off limits, man.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But now we living in such a reckless society. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? With these youngins, they don't respect no code or understand, you know, like how they should be navigating and operating. And that's the biggest problem. There's always been gangs. There's always been clique. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been the case. But what we missing is guys who, you know, got some moral authority or some you know, real compass on how to move. You know what I'm saying? So that just was big for me. It's just like it's just no more code right now. You know.
No, it ain't no more cold, man. Let the people know, where you from? What part of the city and the area you grew up in?
From Southside. I'm from Gresham, Inglewood. You know, 76 and Emerald. You know, they used to call it Central City.
76 and Emerald.
76 and Emerald.
All right.
Shoot, I went to every school in the city. Kicked out of 9 schools.
Yeah.
I went to somewhere everywhere.
Wow.
But yeah, so Gresham and Inglewood is kind of where my stomping grounds were.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yo.
Never knew that, man. For real? Okay, so
from the trenches.
Yeah, you in the trenches. That's most definitely, man. That's the trenches of Chicago. That's the trenches too, man. Yeah, but let the people know what you. How was the mayoral
Yeah.
going up for mayor, man. That's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, no, for sure. I
That was
mean,
big.
you know, I'm the youngest to ever run for mayor, right?
Yeah.
And it's because it's just been a corrupt system for old folks for so many years. You know what I'm saying? That they just be rotating these seats to one of their corrupt buddies or whoever they want to have them so that they can keep power, keep the contracts, etc. So it's never been, the mayor's seat has never been a independent seat where actual people who give a damn about the city of Chicago can win the mayor's seat. And so, you know, I stepped up as somebody who, from the trenches, who understand the streets, who understand how to get out of the streets too, right? And who understand what needs to happen to create a better environment in neighborhoods. And we needed that voice. And so when I look at all of my other 8 contenders, none of them can relate to my struggle. None of them can relate to how I grew up. None of them can relate to what's going on in the hoods right now. None of them can relate to the young people that are in the neighborhoods that are messed up right now. You know what I'm saying? And so all throughout this country, especially in Chicago, we need more people that's of us to start taking that power, because that's the only way we're going to be able to really change the hood. But the thing is, the problem with that is the hoods that we come from don't vote, right? So the hoods who are the most underserved, the hoods who where folks are living in survival mode, they don't vote. So, you know, it's hard to take the power and take these seats when the people that you're trying to represent the most, which they got the most power because they got the most vote numbers, you know what I'm saying? They just choose not to participate in the political system for various reasons, because they don't feel like the system works for them, because they are in survival mode and they barely don't even know where their next meal is coming from. They, you know, it's like trying to get them to pay attention to this political system and care about voting when nobody care if they eat. Nobody care if their kid get a good education. Nobody care if they get a good paying job. Nobody care, you know, and when they feel that way, it's like, you know, they're discouraged. So even when they see me, it's like, yeah, I'm the big celebrity in politics. Oh, it's Jaymal. Oh, yeah, we got him. But it's still a little discouragement because they don't feel like, oh, well, he ain't gonna win, so I ain't gonna vote, or they ain't gonna let him win, or it's some powers that be that control the political system. That's why it's been that way. So it's like, you know, you fighting so many different, you know, pieces to be able to try to have progress, you know what I'm saying? And so it's a roller coaster, but you know, it's always a great experience going across the city, talking to everybody, no matter who they are, background, neighborhood, income status, and making sure that the neighborhoods that are most underserved have the voice, and regardless what happened in the end result, because I was in that race, these neighborhoods are gonna have more, you know, just because those issues and the things that I put on the forefront are now being taken seriously. And I think that's what's most important.
Okay, so what was it that you would have done for the city if you'd have won the mayoral election?
Yeah.
What would have been your biggest target, like to
Well, it was a few things that was super important to me. One of them was just building an economic infrastructure in our neighborhoods, right? When we talk about violence, when we talk about what's going on, it all boils down to economics. It all boils down to economics. You know what I'm saying? It boils down to the fact that you got single mothers who work in dead-end jobs, who barely, you know, can provide for their families. You have men who are either incarcerated or affected by the criminal justice system, so they can't get middle class opportunities, or they can't get loans to start businesses. So what happens is you have all these different policies and systems in place that's preventing the communities from being able to create generational wealth. And when you can't create generational wealth or economic stability, you can't provide for your family, then you have all these different problems that happen because that's the case. When you look at Lincoln Park, the home ownership rate in Lincoln Park is 75, 77%. That means majority of them own homes. That means that majority of them are middle class. The median income is 6 figures. So let's look at the school. Oh man, the school is teaching quality education. Do they have any businesses that are vacant? No, every business is occupied. People jogging down the street, gyms. I mean, when you look at all of the different things that a neighborhood that is safe has, you look at our neighborhood, and you don't see those same things, right? And they don't empower the people in the neighborhoods to own, right? We should have majority homeowners in the neighborhoods, but you don't. You got majority renters. That means that folks are transient and they're moving around. Most people don't stay in their home, their place a year or 2 years. So it's always people moving. You got vacant properties, vacant lots. You know what I'm saying? So our kids are walking past vacant lots, vacant school buildings, vacant businesses. You know what I'm saying? Some 20,000 youth at CPS homeless. Don't even have nowhere to go. The DCFS system is terrible. I mean, it's just so many different things that tie into what's going on in our neighborhoods that we must rebuild an economic infrastructure in these neighborhoods. And it's going to start with empowering the people in those neighborhoods. So using $1 billion bonding capacity to back home loans, right? Creating a public bank, because we know that the banks in those neighborhoods are redlining them. So we're going to create a city bank so that the banks, that we can be held accountable to invest in these neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Removing the red tape. There should be free to have a business license, easier to open up a business within 60, 90 days, you know, making it easier to open up a business in those neighborhoods. Giving incentives for those folks to develop the properties, the vacant lots and vacant shouldn't take, you know, all this red tape and politics to get a piece of property that you want to invest in, you know, so building that economic infrastructure was my biggest piece. Of course, that then ties into education, because with economic infrastructure, education is better. Why? Because if you got more people in the neighborhood that are making money and owning things and paying taxes, them tax dollars goes to the school, right? And now you holding the school accountable to make sure that they. So it's just a trickle down. Like if you have an economic infrastructure, everything else will fall in place. More homeowners, more businesses want to come. More, you know what I'm saying? More job manufacturers or people who create jobs. They want to move into these neighborhoods that have people flooding these neighborhoods that are owning their own homes and really caring about their block. So, and if you don't have that, you're gonna always have public safety crisis. You gonna always have violence. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie. When I bought my first home, I started looking at everything. You know what I'm saying? Hey. When the guys start riding down, you know, bumping music, you like, hold on, whoa, hey, right, you know what I'm saying? Your whole demeanor change when you own something, you know what I'm saying? If you have more people who have ownership, more people who really care about what's going on in their community, a lot of this stuff will change, because that means they'll have more flexibility to grab a hold to some of these young people or grab along to these kids to make sure that they can stay on the right track.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay. So how was it growing up with you? How was it growing up?
Yeah, no, it was rough. You know, my mom, single mother, right? She been at the post office for 35 years. See, our generation of parents, those are the ones who got them government jobs, right? The ones they were throwing them government jobs at them, and where they still damn near dead in their jobs, they still check to check.
Right.
And so my mom was trying to take care of all of us. I'm the youngest and of three, and the only boy. Okay. So my mom was trying to take care of us, me and my sisters, by herself, in the hood. So really, the reality is, most of the time she wasn't there, right? Because she worked. You spoiled. Well, that's what my sisters would say. Yeah, but I'm a little bit different. But and I think because my mom had to work so much, that took a lot away from it too. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was working all day in doubles. We literally had to like sneak in the mail car. You feel what I'm saying? Like be in the back of the mail truck hiding while she delivering the mail. You feel me?
She's not still working, right?
Yes, she is. That's old. They don't know that. That's old. They don't know what mama talking about. Look. But that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gonna watch my kids? I'm working all day. You feel what I'm saying? That's a single parent mom. That's a single mama.
That's a single mama, man.
And at the end of the day, it was, it was rough. That means, light gas off, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes she got to call you got the light man who know how to go on the pole, and you know what I'm saying? You got the boot key man who know how to take the boot off the car. You got the gas, you got the hottest Rolodex when you growing up and, you barely making ends meet. You got to have the guys who can, help you out during those hard times, trying to take care of the family. And that's how my mama was. But my mom then, what she started to do was she started to save up her money. She got older. She started buying pieces of property for nothing, right? Like she bought a property like it might be $16,000. And she saved up, and her credit union matched her and helped her buy a building, right?
Yeah.
Now she ain't had no money to put into the building, so now you just bought this raggedy old building,
And
right?
ain't got nothing
to put into it, you know. But
it's her.
Right. And then over the years, she would put a few dollars in, and fix it up, and then she would be able to rent it out. Then they'll tear it up again, and then I had to get in there and paint and do because she ain't got no money to hire nobody else, you know. So I was able to see my mom as a hustler, you know what I'm saying? And she still is. She's still at the post office. She's still selling joggers. She sell anything that you need. She's still that person who, you know what I'm saying, still a hustler. All her kids ain't even in the house. And so I saw that drive, you know what I mean? So that was kind of instilled into me. It was more like go out and go get it, you know what I'm saying? And make sure that you can provide and make sure that no matter what, you know what I'm saying, you good. And networking and being connected. My mom is probably the best networking person I know, because that's the only reason why I went to 12 schools. Every time I got kicked out, she had another principal she can beg to put me in there. Well, it was on her route. They loved her as a male lady. She's like, please let my son in this school. Then they'll let me in. Then when they don't work, she'll call somebody else, like, please, can he go to this school? Then they'll let, so everybody loved her. So she would use all of her connections to make sure that I was good. So networking is another thing that I learned from her, and just being good to everybody that you know, no matter if they the janitor or the painter or somebody with money, you know what I'm saying? And I've always kept that trait.
Oh, good, always. So what made you get into the politics instead of the streets?
Right, that's a good question.
What made you get into?
Well, because all of my, you know, I grew up around all the big heavy hitters, but they looked at me and was like, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, hey, go in that room, lock that door, don't come out. You know what I'm saying? Until we come get you. You feel me? It was that. And I don't think it piqued my interest either. You know, I think I was just different. I really care more about like real life success or real life like making it out, you know what I'm saying, of the hood. And that was my mentality early, and I had the drive to do that. And instead of making it out, then it became as I got older, because I was gonna leave, right? Because it's like, man, if I make it out the hood, I'm out of this. You know, I'll make some money, I'm out of this joint. And that's how everybody feel, because they feel bubbled into the neighborhood with all the shit going on. It's like, you know, it can't get better, you know? So it's like, when I get some money, I'm leaving.
Okay.
And so it was that selfish mentality early, which most young people still to the day, I'm sure, like if they had a few dollars, they'd get up out of here. And it wasn't until I got older and I started my first company with my history teacher when I was 15. And I started doing, like, I led my first peace march when I was 15. I brought in Rhyme Fest to my school to pass around. He had just got a Grammy, like he can speak to the kids. I was doing the talent shows and Def Jam shows. And I was just seeing the impact that I could have on young people and on the community. And then it was then that I was like, well, no, I actually want to invest back into the city, not leave the city. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I've been here, and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, shit, we've been knowing each other since what? Like 17 when my son got,
for sure.
When they did that to my son in the penitentiary.
Yep.
You came and met with me and my wife, and yeah, man, we've been locked in ever since.
Locked in ever since.
You know.
It's so funny. It was so funny because when I saw Ruger, he like, man, you don't know who I am? I'm like, look, my girl bumping this music.
Right.
I was like, I don't know who this is. He like, it's me. And he told, right, he like, you been in my house.
Right, you been in my house.
I said, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, we was all sitting right there. He was sitting there, the other brother. We was all sitting there. He was sitting right there.
It was funny, man. He's like, yeah, man, it's me. Yeah, for sure. I just, then the activism, right? I think that was another lead to the politics of just being there for family. Like, man, it's crazy. Like I always talk about, like I didn't have to put together funerals of children. You get what I'm saying? Like, and like literally to the point where mothers be like, Jaymal, I can't go in there. I need you to. And I'm a 19 myself, but because I'm out, you know what I'm saying? And so I got to go in, viewing bodies, picking out caskets, you feel me? Helping them pay for funerals, speaking at funerals of children. And so it was like, that was one of those things as a community organizer that I hated the most, because it was like, it just killed me that, when a police kills somebody or something happened in jail or something happened in the community, whatever the case is, that when you be that person to support families and you be there to just like, just to help people, that you gonna pull a lot of that trauma in too. You know what I'm saying? Because just seeing people that's your age and you speaking at their funeral and you helping their mom, you know what I'm saying, helping their family.
How does that make you feel?
Messed up, man. I was, man, it's messed me up in the head for a while, man, because it's just like I can still envision all of the people that I didn't like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know these kids, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know who I was. And it's like, to just be a part of the process of burying them or advocating for their mama or their family, advocating for them really, because they was killed, you know what I'm saying? Like Laquan was, I was one of the leaders of that movement. Like just not knowing Laquan, not knowing Paul O'Neill or Betty Jones or any other families I represented, like, but being bold enough to step out there and fight for them and to be a part of laying them to rest is just, it's a lot, because you holding on to, you bringing in all that hurt, you know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying, like with the running the city as a mayor.
Yeah.
That would that's a big.
No, it is.
It's a big job, like you say. How do you deal with all that?
But you then on the other side, you need somebody who has dealt with that. You feel me? My thing is, nothing ever changes for us because we never put in nobody who understands us and understands our struggle. That's the reality. You feel me? I say it all the time. That's the only reason I run. I ain't gotta run. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm gonna be good regardless. I ain't never took nothing from nobody. I've always made my own money in my business. I'm never needed for anything. You feel me? So I'm independent, so I can do what I want to do. But I know that the impact is made by somebody who understands us. So that's why I did it. You know what I'm saying? While people will look at me like, oh, you young, or why you want this job? Because I know the power of that job. And I know, what happens. When I was 18 years old, I was to put the guns down ambassador for the city. I was in City Hall at 18 years old. I know the power of, it's really a dictatorship. The mayor's seat is a dictatorship. No one governs the mayor, not even city council. Because if the mayor tells a city council member that you ain't getting nothing for your ward unless you do this for me, that city council member gonna do it. You get what I'm saying? So the mayor is a dictator. And the reality is we continue to put in dictators who don't understand or give a damn. They don't understand or don't give a damn or have a passion to change what's going on in our community. So my thing is we needed a mayor who come from the streets, who understand what it means to, like I done seen several people being shot. I done seen everything, every rough thing that you can name of. I've buried kids. I've done all of these different things. My perspective is what it is because I went through that. Their perspective is nowhere near mine because they don't understand what's going on in our neighborhoods. And that goes for the current mayor, our new mayor, the mayor before that. And so, we're basically going to these people saying, here's our problem, can you do this for me? And then hoping that they make a decision that benefit us, instead of going to somebody who understand what's going on and really can relate to move forward solutions. And but we just so messed up, we don't vote.
Yeah, that's the big problem. That's the
It is.
big problem.
It is.
It's been like that for years, though.
For years, it has.
Since my time. Since when I was young coming up, it's been like that. Ain't nobody.
What year was that? Like 1800? What year was
You got me, Trey. You got me, Trey. Hey, Trey. You got out on me. So how you feel about Lori Lightfoot? How you feel about Lori Lightfoot? I mean,
Hey.
how you feel? I mean,
We lit her out of here. Shoot, her foot was a little too heavy. Yeah. Nah, you know, somebody that come from Massillon, Ohio, don't understand the city of Chicago, don't understand the nuances of our city. And she put on this persona for her campaign. She won. I tried to help her first year. But her personality, she just has a bad personality. You know, she don't take responsibility for anything. She think that she's always right and she can't work with anybody. And that's her biggest problem, because if she didn't have that problem, half the people that was running against her wouldn't have been running against her. Everybody was running against her for their own reasons because of what she did to them. Brandon Johnson would have never ran against her if she didn't have 2 teacher strikes. You get what I'm saying? And was fighting with the teachers union every year. She messed me over, and she stopped my center because I criticized her. You know what I'm saying? Willie Wilson endorsed her, and she cut Willie off and then didn't work with him at all. So Willie back in the race. Literally everybody in the race had a reason that she did something to them.
Wow.
And if it was one or two of them people not in the race, she could have possibly got back in. But she messed over so many people that was like, well, I'm going to just go for your job, that it became impossible and her approval rating was so low, it just became impossible for her to win. And so that's where we at now. And so she a one-term mayor.
So who you vote for?
That's a good question.
Daniel Johnson, but who you vote for?
Well, look, I thought, here's the reality. The reality is that I voted for myself for the first round.
Okay,
right?
yeah, you voted for yourself. You voted for yourself.
The second round, I was disappointed in both choices. But, I felt that who can govern the city in the best way at this moment, with everything that's going on financially, with the budget, with just all the different things that were going on in the system, I felt Paul Vallis just had better management experience. Brandon Johnson is, basically just worked for the teachers union, and he was a teacher for like 3 or 4 years, and he works for the teachers union. He's never done anything else. And so he doesn't have any management experience. He doesn't understand the neighborhoods. He's from Elgin. They moved him to the city of Chicago. And so he, in my view, was too much like Lori, but Lori has way more experience, right? Because she was a lawyer. She, was the head of the police board. She was the head of police task force, and she also worked under Mayor Daley. So she had a track record. She understood government more. Brandon doesn't understand government, in my opinion, at all. And so he's now new to this job, and he's going to have to figure it out. In my view, having a mayor that has to figure it out from the beginning is just a little rough. And I also felt like Paul Vallis, we can take him out in 4 years because, you know what I'm saying, he old anyway. So that was kind of how I looked at the race. You and your old jokes, man. You and your old jokes. That's your generation. Y'all went to school together. But my thing is, so that's kind of how I felt. Listen, I wasn't happy with either one of them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no.
But what about you? You don't have experience in it neither. So
no, the difference is total difference. Here's the total difference. The difference is that if you put me versus Brandon Johnson was elected because he's older than me. Now, if you put our track record, it's nowhere close.
You did more than him in your...
Plenty, right? I just made the largest bank in the world give $1 billion to the South and West Side, fighting Chase Bank. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you look at real results that I've garnered, and I've been in City Hall, and I was a senior advisor for Lori first year, and I was a presidential surrogate traveling with Bernie Sanders for 2 terms. So I have way more political and result-oriented experience.
Way more than him.
and lived experience as far as what's going on in Chicago, because he just got to Chicago, than Brandon Johnson does. But Brandon is just older, so he is more capable. Like he's better for the older people who are voting. 55 and over are the main ones who are voting. Y'all generation, y'all the main one. Y'all want somebody that's older, and y'all think I'm too young. But if we took away age and put the track record in front of them, and took away age and name and backed up, I would win.
But to be honest, I voted for you.
That's a good vote.
I voted for you. Man. I voted for you, man. That's who had my vote.
I appreciate you.
The rest of them, no.
Yeah.
You had my vote, bro.
That's how I felt. Look, they asked me, they say, well, Jaymal, if you weren't in the race, who would you vote for? And I said, none of them. And, at the end of the day.
So who you vote for? You still ain't telling me who
I just told you. I said I felt that Paul Vallis would have been better manager than Brandon Johnson. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I got a relationship with both of them. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing both of them for over 6 years, So I think Brandon is, and I've talked to Brandon every day since he won, So
that's good.
I truly wish him the best. I want him to be the best mayor that we've ever had, because I'm just not no hate nigga like that, So like, I ain't no guy who like, I hope he do bad so I can run against him. Like, that's not me, like I really hope that he does the best job, and anything that I can do to help him do that job, I will. And, whatever happens, happens. I'm going by my life.
Chicago is a hard city.
It is a very hard city.
For anybody. Like,
it is.
Any mayor, anybody that's head of the city,
right,
gonna catch a lot of feedback.
So
he can expect that, right?
He gonna expect that.
He gonna expect that, right?
He's walking into a migrant crisis.
Right, yeah.
Memorial Day, a bloody summer, a deficit in the budget, a housing crisis. There's a lot of crisis to deal with. And I just felt that, I just felt he wasn't ready to do that. And so that's why, I didn't feel that it was his right time to be mayor, because he's never dealt with anything, and to deal with all these crises at once, I just think it's hard. It's just rough, especially if you're not from Chicago and you don't really understand the nuances and the people and all these. It's rough. It's rough. So, but I hope that somehow he's able to manage it. I really am.
So from my understanding, I heard that he was talking about getting rid of 150,000 police officers or something. 100.
Oh no, he was I don't know where he stands on that. Another thing, Brandon really didn't have a platform, so he really was running off the fact that Paul, like, basically painting Paul a racist Republican. So he didn't really run on like real policies that we can super hold him accountable to. So we'll see. He didn't say that he would decrease the police department patrol. Only thing he really said that he was going to add 200 detectives. But that's about it. But we'll see. Once he walk in, it's his show. You know what I'm saying? And whatever he does is whatever he does. But I think it's going to be rough. I think this migrant crisis is probably one of the biggest hot button issues right now. And was another reason that I disagreed a little bit with some of the people that support him and that's going to be helping him govern on this issue, is these migrants are being poured in by the thousands. We're at probably over 10,000 migrants. We're spending $225 a day per migrant. So from January to June, it's 125 million that we're taking care of the migrants that they're busing in the city, and they can't work. So we're literally housing them, feeding them. We pay them for everything in their whole life, and they're not able to work. So what the crisis is that now they're overloaded. They don't know where to put them. So they're going into all the black communities, and they're using those school buildings. Mm-hmm. And now they're putting them all in the school buildings that the black community's been asking for to do other stuff for many years. And so that's going to be a big issue, because the black community is really on fire because of it. And with they should be. We built this country. Our neighborhoods are the worst off than anybody. We can't even get resources. Our schools are bad. Y'all shut down our schools. And then these school buildings been sitting for 10 years. Yeah. And now the only time y'all come in our neighborhoods to tell us that y'all making this a shelter for migrants,
Right.
but not a shelter for homeless or a community center.
All these
or,
homeless people out here.
Yeah, so it's rough trying to balance that. So we'll see what happens. But it's gonna be a big issue for them for this summer for sure.
Okay. What you think about the gangs? And how can we
What
get our
gangs?
city back? Just
What gang?
in general, Chicago.
Ain't no gang.
I'm just saying, like
Cliques.
The cliques, okay.
Ain't no gangs no more, man.
So
They don't know what they doing. They ain't cliques.
the cliques, everybody clicked up.
Everybody clicked up. They don't know nothing about the GDs, BDs, MOs, the real gangs. That structure has been taken down, right? You got a clique per block now. You got whatever boys on this block and the other boys, and that, they got their own little cliques that technically run under the gang, but it's not, no real structure. And I think that's probably the biggest problem is you got 2,000 cliques and nobody, and they could be against each other from this block to this block just because they, and so there's no structure or merging of these cliques for them to really like be together, right? It's just everybody and these are my 10 friends and this is what we doing. And so it's no structure of what's going on, which is why it's so all over the place. I think, what needs to happen is we got to create more alternatives for them. You know what I'm saying? Like we have
Jobs.
we got to find ways to be able to get their eyes off of the streets. And I tell them all the time, if they come from a broken home and they go into a broken school, they're going to go into a community and relate to more people that are broken like them. And when those broken people get together and create this clique, then all these other crimes and things of that sort will happen. So you must intervene in the process. If they come from a broken home, how are you going to intervene when they get to that school? Because if that school don't have the resources to be able to support them, then they go into the community. If they go into the community, drop out or get put out, who's going to intervene then? When a police officer grabs them and arrests them, who going to intervene then? But instead, you're just going to send them through the system, especially if they under 18, they're going to just get right back out. Like there's no intervention.
Right out.
You feel me?
Right out.
There's no intervention. And so my thing was creating a youth intervention department, so that if a young person is arrested or have behavioral problems in schools or whatever, like a youth interventionist will be put in place like you, right? Who I give you 20 kids. And your job with them 20 kids make sure like, hey, is you going to school, free mental health counseling, job opportunities that we got. You get what I'm saying? Like you got priority resources because you one of the interventionists that work for the city. So it's only triggered if they drop out or if they get arrested or anything happens 25 and under. And so we want youth interventionists and then that can say, listen, he gonna be in this mentoring program for 12 months and we not gonna send him through the system. Okay, no problem. All he gotta do is sign off. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna work with me, I'll put you in this mentoring organization for 12 months and then you won't get prosecuted for what you just did.
Right.
You feel me? Like we gotta have some alternatives so that we can be able to grab them and intervene and put them on the right path. Because once they so far down the line, you feel me? And they catching bodies and they drinking lean and they own, they own drugs, perks, whatever it is they doing all type of shit. They so far gone, now it's so hard to grab them. You get what I'm saying? So intervention must happen. If they get out of jail, who gonna grab them, make sure that they got housing and an opportunity? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like we should have a program embedded in the jail, embedded in the prison. I had a program in the prison, Kawani prison, that taught them, business plans and resume building and affirming them and did all that before they got out. You know what I'm saying? So like we need those pieces so that we can grab them because if we don't, it's just gonna get worse and worse. And what happens is when they get killed or they kill somebody or they go to jail, it's another one being born or coming out of school, 12, 13 years old.
10, I heard.
10.
They carjacking
at 10. So that's what I'm saying. So you got another 10-year-old that's walking in his shoes once he get killed or be arrested.
Yeah.
So it's a continuous cycle. You have to interrupt the cycle. And, hopefully, and I've told this to Brandon, I've told this to many of the politicians, and I hope they really grab this message and understand that if you do not interrupt the cycle, it's going to be real in the city of Chicago for a long time.
Yeah, because you don't see kids playing baseball no more.
Nothing, man.
At the park, pick up basketball.
park?
I'm just saying, you don't see none of that no more.
Parks, community centers, shit. We
Centers,
have what, boys and
ain't
girls
no-
clubs.
ain't none of that no
You was a
more.
Boy Scout?
No.
You know, was a Boy Scout. I'm asking.
Never,
He like-
never, man.
But I'm just saying, they have Boy
wasn't
Scouts. They had all
I'm
types
from the
of.
trenches too.
from
I won the Boy Scout, man. I won the Boy Scout.
You're the Boy Scout.
But no,
I think I was at a Boy Scout
I
maybe a week
wasn't.
or two.
Man. I wasn't. Man.
But I mean, they had all type of programs though. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you can play, be a part in, and like, you know, play sports or whatever. If we can spend, just think about this. Give us the same amount of funding that you give the migrants. Let's be serious. You spending $7,000 a month per migrant. $7,000 a month. So you know, we spending millions and millions of dollars taking care of them, but we can't have a community center, but our parks can't get updated. We can't have nets on our rims. We can't have programs, millions of dollars that we pour into after school programs. School's supposed to be open, should be open at 8 o'clock. You get what I'm saying? What we paying all like what we shutting schools down for? They should be open all day with programs. Open gyms all across the city. On the weekends, the school's open. The park district, you know what I'm saying? Like we have to get back to making sure that no young person should be on the street.
That's true.
None. Where's you come out of school, where you at?
So how that fall on the city?
Because the city is I just said it's a dictatorship.
City taking care of the migrants, immigrants.
Because the city controls the resources. So the city signs off, because we're a sanctuary city, on all of the funding.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, we got a $28 billion, the mayor, Brandon Johnson, is now in control of a $28 billion budget. Wow. Over all departments. And so he is now in he can make the decision on where the money is going to go. So is the money going to come to what I'm talking about? Or we going to say we ain't got enough money for that because we'd rather put it over here? And that's essentially what they do, is they play politics. Right now, the migrant crisis is the hot button issue. So they're going to find money to pay for this. Mm-hmm. But the people who are really in need here are not getting the money and the things that they deserve right now. So it's up to these communities to now step up and say, listen, we've been here. Our kids are dying. Our kids ain't got an after school. Our kids ain't got nothing. If you can find $225 a day per migrant for them, I need y'all to find enough money to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to start stepping up and stop getting stumped on and trampled over. You feel me? And because the white communities ain't having it. The white communities ain't having them busting thousands into their neighborhoods. So, you know, not to say that, you know, listen, at the end of the day, it's a humanitarian crisis. And there's nothing against the migrants. I'm just saying, the city and the city's resources and how it's allocated, we got to be more focused on it.
Wow. That's deep.
It is. It's real.
That's real.
It's real. But people don't understand it at this level. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the biggest piece. You know what I'm saying? It's real. And we ran out of money. You know what I'm saying? And they still asking the feds for more money. And what's happening is, because we're a sanctuary city, anybody that comes to Chicago that is in need, that's an asylum seeker or that came over the border, we automatically have to take care of you. Automatically, because we're a sanctuary city. So that means that money is allocated for you as soon as you walk into the city of Chicago. And we have to house you. We have to feed you. We have to do these things. So what's happening is, a lot of them, they got hundreds of them living in police stations right now. Because he busting them in from Texas. They busting them in every day.
Every day?
Every day. They're busting them in right now.
And they live in police stations?
They live in the police stations. They living in that Woodlawn building, school building. Now they're trying to put them at South Shore High School right now. So this South Shore community came 500 strong a few days ago and was like, we don't want them here. But the city's still gonna put them there. Because they're gonna put hundreds of migrants at South Shore High School, the old South Shore High School. So this is what's happening right now. And millions is being allocated for this right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, listen, if we have an insurmountable amount of money, like, that's fine. I understand that. But if we got a pot And these people right here, we have a humanitarian crisis because black kids are being killed every day. That's a humanitarian crisis. Black people and black children are being killed every day. That's a crisis. That's a crisis. COVID, that's a crisis like all these other crises that they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And if we cannot look at our crisis like y'all look at all these other crises, then what are y'all basically saying about black folks? You get what I'm saying? What are y'all basically saying about black communities? Y'all basically saying, who gives a damn that y'all kids are dying, that y'all schools are poor, that y'all ain't got no programs, that y'all ain't got no money, y'all ain't home on, y'all don't have nothing. Walmart shutting down all these stores. We don't have grocery stores. You know, you got all these different things happening in our neighborhoods. And basically, y'all on the back burner. Mm-hmm. So that's just the reality of what's going on. But it's going to keep going on until black folks step up.
And do something about it.
Do something about it.
Let's talk about like that, the taxpayers' dollars that
Yeah. These are the migrant crisis. We are spending taxpayer dollars on this because Chicago is a sanctuary city. So what happens is because we're a sanctuary city, the city puts up some dollars, then we go to the state and we ask them for some money, and then we go to the federal government, who, if it's Democrat, the Democrats will give us some money. So Joe Biden, with it being Democrat, like if it was Republican, it'd be different, right? The Republicans ain't gonna give y'all no money for being a sanctuary city. Y'all gonna have to spend y'all own money and be on your own. But since it's Democrat, Joe Biden will come in and be like, all right, I give y'all some money too. You feel me? So we can get some city money, state money, and federal money. So right now what's happening is we're running out of our own money. We've actually ran out of our own money. If you look up, Lori last week said that she ain't got no more money. You know what I'm saying? She came out and was like, please stop sending them because we ain't got no more money. And so what happened is now they're going to the federal government and begging Joe Biden now to say, listen, we helping these folks coming over the border, give us some money. You know what I'm saying? But what's happening is they still got to front this money right now. Even because while Joe Biden is not giving them money, these people are here right now and we still have to take care of them. We can't kick them out because we are a sanctuary city. So they got to be taken care of. So they living in police stations. We feed them, you know what I'm saying? Living in shelters, like we finding them housing, but they can't work. So we literally just taking care of them, and they cannot work because they're not legally able to. So right now we have like 10,000 migrants right now that are just spread over the city, and we spending $7,000 a month.
So they just gonna live here without no legally documentations and none of that type of stuff?
That's gonna be their home for now. So, you know, the thing is that progressives, you know, believe, okay, well, they humans, they came over the border, they probably went through the jungle, went through all these different things to get to America, so we should take care of them. And, you know, I understand that sentiment 100%. My thing is that we must also be taking care of the people correctly that we have here, right? That have been here, that have been oppressed, that have been ancestors have been slaves, that y'all, you know, like, we also got to take care of the people here. Sure. And if we were doing that to the best of our ability, then I wouldn't have nothing to say about the migrants. Okay, pay for it. Because everybody taken care of. But that's not the case. We still got a high homeless rate. We got 65,000 people homeless. 20,000 of them are young people. We still have a humanitarian crisis with young people and black people being killed at an alarming rate every day. So we still got these crises that we have not dealt with. And they say, well, we could do both. But here's the problem. I understand that we could do both, but that's not the case. The case is that y'all only doing one, because when they got here, immediately money. We're not saying immediately $1 million into nothing that we talking about. So it ain't like y'all got a pot and y'all said 100 million, here go 50 and here go 50. That's not what's happening. Y'all not giving that money to us like y'all should be.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem that I have with it, is we can prioritize, you know, them over the people here. And that's not, and people were saying that the communities who coming out mad about it, that they racist. No, they telling you the truth. We're not being racist. We telling you that, look at our community. We ain't got nothing. This is a school building that they shut down that was teaching our kids. And our kids getting a poor education, don't have nowhere to go, don't have no programs, can't play no ball. They just thrown to the wayside. And the one thing that y'all want to do for our community is use our buildings as shelter for migrants, but y'all don't want to do nothing else that we asking y'all for. That's a problem. And the communities have the right to step up and say that. And that's not racist. It's not going against the migrants. We care about all people. Black people are the most forgiving, the most loving people in America. If we weren't, we'd have a civil war every generation. Because there have not been not one group of people, one ethnic group that have endured the pain and suffering as we have. So if we were not the forgiving and loving people, we'd have been warned with America every dang generation. You feel me? We ain't have Christianity. We have all these different things. They lucky we got all that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So the reality is that we're not saying that we don't love humans and love everybody. We just saying we want to be treated fairly. That's all we're saying.
So that's why you stick up for your people the way you stick up for them.
Yeah.
I done saw you get locked up and everything, man.
Many times.
You
for sure.
got locked up.
I got framed.
Man. Yeah, you done got locked up.
9 felonies.
I used to watch you all the time on social media, man.
Yeah.
You on the front line.
Listen, I care about my people more than my people care about themselves. You feel me? Yeah. But that means that you got to understand when you're in this position that understands things better than most, you got to understand that your people damaged, right? My people have been damaged. So when I'm shutting down the Chase Bank, because I'm telling them, listen, Chase only lend to this community 1% of the time. 1% of the time, 1.9% of the time they was lending to black people for all these years. While you got your money in there. So while I'm sitting there at that bank shutting them down and you mad at me because you want to walk in there and get your money instead of going to another one, like I understand that mentally they're not going to understand what I'm trying to say because they've been damaged for so long. When I'm shutting down a nail salon because an Asian man then beat up a black woman, I still have plenty of women. It's like, man, forget you, Jaymal. I love how Tina do my eyebrow. You know, like, but I understand that my people are damaged, so that does not deter my end goal. And my end goal worked. $1 billion from Chase Bank. You know what I'm saying? Like shutting down nail salon. Like everything I've done, I've got the results that I've looked for.
Yeah, I saw you out there, man.
Even with my people was against me at the time because they didn't understand the larger mission. You feel what I'm saying? Like I want to go out to Louis, Gucci, all of them. You feel me? We spend more money with these luxury brands. You ever seen them sponsor one thing black? Never. I ain't never seen.
But they sponsoring them, huh? They
come on,
Gucci, Louis.
We sponsoring them. We making them the Louis guy, what, 3rd richest man in the world.
Look like you got some Gucci glasses.
Yeah, I'm
you
going
sponsoring them too. You sponsoring them too. Man. You got on Gucci glasses.
Look,
man.
that's why I'm going
you
after
them.
them.
Gucci glasses.
That's why I'm
man.
going after them.
You got on Gucci glasses.
That's the only name brand thing I got.
Them Gucci glasses about $1,000.
Whoa. No, it ain't that high.
Got you back, man.
He got me back.
Got you back, man. I got you back.
Now we need to go after them.
Get you, man.
We got to go after them. These luxury brands, man, listen, it is time for black folks to really stop. We got to understand our worth. You feel me? We got more economic power than everybody. We spend so much money. Our money, none of the vast majority, 90-something% of our money do not go black. It goes right out the window. Very small percentage of our money circulates through black.
What about Corey Brooks? How you feel about him?
Who, Corey? Well, Corey, my man. I've been knowing Corey for many years. You know what I'm saying? And Corey is a Republican. You feel what I'm saying? I respect anybody that is who they want to be. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
anybody, yeah.
If you're a Republican, you're a Republican. Like when I talk to Corey, we fight, we yell at each other, and then in the morning, be like, my man's, what you doing? We gonna go eat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can respect anybody who are themselves. You feel me? And that's the thing. I don't like camouflages. Be who you are. You feel me? I put up a status. I said, I like my enemies to be my enemies because I know how to handle them. Just don't be a camouflage, you know what I'm saying, and try to get access to me so you can betray me. Like, no. Corey is a Republican, and Corey got a lot of Republican friends. He's raised $30 million to build his center. He's finna build it, and I'm proud of him. And, I don't care about nobody politics. Who actually doing the work? I've walked through. I've been
He's been doing the work.
Nah, he been in the trenches. I've been with him. You feel what I'm saying?
He took that walk, right? He took that walk too,
I
right?
don't know how much he walked.
Slept on the roof. He walked from here to Chicago to California.
No,
didn't
I don't know how much he walked. Man. I told Pastor, I said, listen, you fat. If you walk
from here to
California, you've been my side.
Right. You shouldn't be fat. You should be small.
But no, he actually, me and Pastor been in the trenches doing giveaways for years. Like I done done. Oh, for sure. Oh, he that's my man. You know, we done been in. When you talking about O Block, everybody do all this social media, all this O Block. Yeah, we be in O Block for real. You know what I'm saying? Like in the trenches, giveaways, playing basketball, hanging out. Like who actually coming into the hood. So you can say a lot about Pastor Brooks, whoever it is, but what are they doing that you are not doing? And he is spending his life and time in the trenches every single day. Every time I'm with Pastor, if I pull up on him right now, I guarantee you the guys all throughout that strip is around Pastor just hanging out. Guaranteed. That's just how he is. He sit around with all of the gangs and cliques, everybody, they hang around Pastor. I ain't never seen him without him. You feel me? So somebody who's really in the streets, that means that he looking out for everybody in the streets because they always around him. He feeding them. He giving them jobs. He, you know what I'm saying? He making sure that they can eat so that they not out there
taking them off the street.
You feel me? Taking them off the street.
Yeah,
and so that's just he a real one. You feel me? He a Republican. We got a lot of views that we don't agree on, but is he a real one? He a real one.
Yeah.
And so people just be like on perception, man, on social media and what people think about people. Like
social media.
Man, come outside.
Social media is something else.
Social media is something else, man. Come outside. Media, like I don't feed into no controversy of what nobody say about me because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come outside. You feel me? Like you want to. I'm accessible. It's plenty.
I'm outside.
Come outside.
Yeah, I'm outside.
I'm not no social media. Like I be telling folks like, don't let all this fame and politics and stuff. Don't let that. I'm from the street. Right. That's all. That's what I know, and I ain't never changed. You feel what I'm saying? I'm from the streets, and I always be from the streets. I can go in any hood, any gang, clique. They all respect me. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect them as people, and
that's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
You ain't never supposed to be scared of your own people, and that's why when I say Pastor a real one, like it's very few that's like have gained some monetary gain or fame or whatever who ain't scared of their own people and still like nah, these are my people. I don't care what I got. Like, hey, I'm gonna be there for them.
He right there in the heart of it.
In the heart. I'm telling you. I swear. They all, I guarantee, all of the O Block rappers, gangs, everybody over there, they all around Pastor. I bet you they right with him right now. I swear. That's just how he is. That's the only thing he like. He gonna retire from being a pastor just to do that full time. He finna retire. You know what I'm saying? Just be in the streets and to try to help the hood. And I respect that about him.
That's what we need. We need more of that.
Real talk.
We need more
of that. Listen, we need more people to take your block.
We need that. That's what we need.
Or take a 4-block radius or 2-block.
That,
take your, you feel what I'm saying? Fix your block. Buy up all abandoned properties. Fix it up. Grab the guys. Let's build something. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take your little area. If we have more people to do that, to just take their own little nah.
But we need more of the older guys to step up too, though.
For sure.
And claim it and just come on and talk to these young guys.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
come to them, man. Listen, these young guys, man, respect me because they always see me, because I got, they respect anybody with some clout, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly, I make them understand, I'm a real dude. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm from this. I understand what you're going. I understand the streets and I understand all these elements, and then they respect me even more. We need more people, and I'm young, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm in their era. So anybody from my era, any generation, should be able to step up, especially people who understand this, to be able to grab folks, but they just scared to do so, or only care about themselves, only care about their money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really killed black folks to this point anyway, is at a generation when they gave y'all crumbs, you feel me? Integration, all these different things. Black folks was comfortable. They got comfortable and thought, oh, we got good lives now, and we stopped fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's our biggest problem. It's our biggest problem. Like, step up. Let's go get our hoods. You feel me? There's an organization in Oregon who was like, man, there's a fathers group. He created a fathers group, got a bunch of fathers. And all they do is go to the school, and they be in the school and outside the school, making sure, like, build relationships with the kids. You know what I'm saying? So in the school hallways, instead of just being a security, so you got fathers that, you know, that's just, man, y'all have a good day. How was class? You know what I'm saying? Just real guys throughout the school. Yeah, after school, they outside making sure that conflict resolution, making sure that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them kids don't even got fathers. Who,
they don't, man.
You know what I'm saying? Who now like, damn, like, man, I got a couple fathers, man, Mr. Jones, even he cool as hell, man. So it's like they took initiative to make sure that they can bridge a gap. And we got to do more of that here in the city.
Wow. Okay, so I got this. Who you going for in the NBA, man? I just want to know your team, man. I want to know who you going for, man. Don't say the Warriors. Don't say that shit. Don't say no Golden State Warriors, man.
Why?
Cause they ass out of here, man.
They ain't going nowhere.
They out of here,
Going nowhere. You put up money.
I ain't gonna talk about it.
I gamble.
So you a Warriors fan?
Well, I'm a Kobe fan. But the problem is I don't like LeBron James. So that's the problem.
Nobody likes my boy.
I don't like LeBron. I like him off the court. I don't like him on the court. You feel me? Off the court, amazing man. On the court, he a kid.
Amazing man.
He a kid.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? He a flopper. He cry too much.
He taking them to the championship.
And I just hate that he came to my team. That I've been a Lakers fan all my life.
You supposed to roll with him, man.
I'm supposed to. My daddy look at me crazy. He like, man, you
man,
going against the family business?
I'm looking at you crazy now, man.
I'm going against family business. I just can't roll with LeBron, man. Okay. And Steph I love Steph and Clay, so I'm rolling with
Steph and Clay?
I'm rolling.
Shit, they'll be kicking it with you in a minute. Y'all be going fishing together.
Put the money up.
Y'all be kicking it.
I lost my DraftKings bets yesterday, but I ain't gonna lose them going forward. Yeah, they is.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. This shit gonna be on camera.
What's gonna happen?
It's on camera now.
Okay, go ahead.
They ass losing tomorrow.
No, they not.
They gonna lose tomorrow.
No, they not.
This was gonna happen.
Go ahead.
They gonna take them back to Golden State.
Right.
And stomp them, man.
You think the Lakers gonna be 4-1?
Yeah, they gonna
put up a bet on that.
They gonna do it.
Put up a bet on 4-1.
They gonna do it.
Put a bet on 4. You think the Warriors are gonna win another game?
They not gonna beat them at home.
You think they gonna win another game?
They not gonna beat them at home.
It's gonna be 4-2 Warriors up. And I'm willing to bet anybody.
We gonna stick to that, man.
I'm willing to bet anybody.
You can bet though. What you wanna bet?
All right, whatever you wanna bet. Another interview.
I'll bet you that. Hey, it's been good, man. That's my man Jaymal Green, man.
Much
I
love
you,
everybody.
man.
Love you back,
ain't nothing but
man.
love here. I'm glad you
Appreciate
came,
you.
man.
For sure.
You know, man, you got to come back, man.
Oh, for sure. Let's make it happen, man.
So, Jaymal Green, man, he gonna let y'all know. You gonna give them how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, and, they go everywhere. Jaymal Green, man. I ain't hard to find.
Okay, cool. He on all social media.
All social media, everywhere you can go.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna say that to say this, man. Man, stop it. Appreciate it. Man, stop it.